Hello, my name is Brendon Kleen, the Digital Communications Specialist here at the Global Sport Institute, joined by Global Sport Institute CEO Ken Shropshire to introduce our latest digital issue here at Global Sport Matters, the Athlete's Journey. Ken, the Institute, we've long kind of prioritized research, education, content on the full experience of an athlete's life. So why do you believe that it is important to look at sport through that prism?
I think one of the most important things you can do is take care of the people, and the idea that every athlete's journey ends and that every athlete needs to contemplate what to do. That's why it's so important. It's overstated, and now it's become kind of a cliche to say athletes die two deaths, the one when they finish playing and the one when they actually die. So that's why it's always been an important part of what I've done and what the Institute has done.
So there, as you said, I think it's an issue that is getting more attention. I think partially because athletes are forcing fans and media and stakeholders to take note of their lives and experiences after they leave the field. But I think maybe the most fascinating entry point for us right now is J.R. Smith, the former NBA champion who recently enrolled at the HBCU North Carolina A&T, approved by the NCAA to compete on their golf team. He's been chronicling his journey on Twitter, entertaining all of us in sort of a fun but honest, I think, way. I think it epitomizes a lot of what we're going to explore in the issue, what the research that's been done indicates are, important steps for an athlete to be able to carve their own path. So what have you made of JR's story and following along with it online?
Well, it is one of the great stories, right? We've got all this craziness going on, the Malice in the Palace on Netflix, and it's sort of just an abundance of negative stories. And here's kind of this great story of I guess he's 35, 36 years old, played in the league for 16 years, made reportedly something like 35 million, or has 35 million in the bank. I can't quite figure it out. Whatever it is, in kind of the common sense way, in terms of money, doesn't need to go to school. I mean, it's not that he needs to find a way to make a living, but he needs to have a life. He needs to do something after he's done. I think he's really expressing that with a lot of joy, the idea of being in college, the idea of being a college athlete, golfing, and having fun, and having these followers on Twitter to share in this with him. So I'm hoping, the outcome is that there's some messaging that comes from this about this idea of no matter how much money you've made, no matter how many championships you've won, and he's won them, there's still this life after, and there can be some joy in that, an opportunity to go back. And I think it's a special angle too. Talked with Bill Roden today about this of going back to an HBCU.
Yeah, and I think there's also a part of it, obviously, and you kind of, I think we're getting at it with regard to the Malice at the Palace angle of the fact that it's J.R. Smith. And we've also seen for him the Twitter back and forths of, sort of take me seriously, right? I'm not the Hennessy loving, tattooed up, whatever you might have thought I was. I'm this, right? And I'm doing this, and it's serious, and it's not a joke. And, he came out of high school to join the NBA, and this is clearly what he wanted to do with his next chapter. He probably wasn't expecting necessarily to be done with the NBA. He's not, 50. He's only in his 30s. So I'm excited to kind of see it. I think it does epitomize a lot of this stuff and kind of shows us a different angle of what that can look like. It's not just going into media. It's not just, retiring into the sunset and nobody ever hears it. You can have that second chapter. What do you hope to see improve? And if we're looking forward a little bit, which we like to do as well, what do you want to see get better for athletes, for even not pro athletes, but people who pass through sports systems in any way, shape, or form as they move through their life?
Well, for me, it's always been that education is important no matter what you're doing. We've been doing, as an institute, a lot of work for the G League in terms of educating their best players, the elite guys on Team Ignite. The idea that even if you're not going to do it now, and having never been an elite athlete myself, but kind of on the sidelines of understanding that full focus is necessary. If you can put a little bit of thought to the what's next, and so often the what's next has to do with education. So I'm hoping what comes out of it is that it's okay to think about this post-sport journey at any point. That I had a chance to speak with an NFL team recently. One of the big points that I was trying to make was, everybody has a moment when you can just jot a note in the phone and then you go back to studying the playbook. That you shouldn't let those moments go where you're thinking about what's next and you are imposing upon yourself a different type of journey as opposed to the person that gets the BA, kind of goes out and has 3 or 4 different careers before they find out where they want to land.
Yeah, all important stuff, all interesting stuff, and work we will continue to do this month and going forward here at the Global Sport Institute. To check out the digital issue, though, this month's content, please subscribe below to our YouTube page. You can visit globalsportmatters.com and follow the Global Sport Matters podcast wherever you listen to your audio content. We'll be coming to you all month long, getting you inside that athlete's journey.